Hey guys, it's Caleb with White Metal Games. It's Friday the 15th, and it's been about a week since my big Apocalypse game, so we're back in full swing. So let's get right to it. This is what I've been working on the workshop this week. First off, the workshop got a little reorganized. Let me see if I can give you a better view. After the game was over, I wanted to open up the space a little bit more, so I swapped out the original table with this wooden table, which allows me to hang some tools, which is nice. I kind of always wanted to do that. My wife got me a new drill. And I was able to better organize my bits a little bit. Gives me a little more space, so there's plenty more room. The work table got a little better organized. Let's see what's on the work table this week. These are some Thunderwolf Cavalry I'm doing for a client. The client wanted to use these Vampire Dire Wolves as the base model. As you can see, I've already mounted the legs, and I'll be covering up those gaps there with some sculpted fur. The client also requested if I could mix them up a little bit. So I'm actually, some of the heads have been cut off and they're going to be repositioned to make them look like they're howling or looking in different directions. I've also done a couple of cybernetic wolves. This one has been modified with a few loose bits. This is a trigon bit that I think looks like a mechanical tail pretty well. And then it's got a cybernetic head where it looks like the wolf has been injured. I've used some different types of putty to sort of add some extra fur and build up the neck again. These are some Tervigons that I'm about to list. The first batch of 12 didn't sell very fast, but once it sold really fast. Like once they started selling, I sold like a dozen in a week. So I think these guys are going to be popular. I think they're going to catch on. It's just folks haven't really gotten to them yet. So this is a sort of a closer look at them if you haven't looked at them so far. It's a combination of several kit bashes. It's not majority GW parts, so it probably isn't tournament worthy. But it certainly is game worthy. It's got a huge abdomen, this egg sac on the back. I have heard some clients say, why didn't you put more bits on there? And I think that as it stands right now for $15, you really can't beat that. I mean, you could buy 3 of these for the price of a Trigon, you know, add 3 of them to your army. It certainly is a good value. I include a 90 by 120 millimeter base with that. These guys are going to be mounted on this, which is the same size as the Trigon base, which I think works well because these guys do have 6 wounds. And then there's a few variations. I've put some different heads on a couple of them, slightly different arms on a couple of them. They're very sturdy. This one has old Carnifex legs, which, you know, I think is nice. It also gives a little bit of heft. Anyway, so those are up on the block. Let's see what else. I'm going to be building some more of the, what do you call those things? The Tombstalkers for the Necrons. These are a Forge World kit that I'm just sort of kit bashing together. And those are going to be up very soon. The Dark Eldar project is finally going to get painted. I heard back from the client. So that's going to be coming up soon. Let's see what else we got going on. These are some. These are going to be some Dark Elf Nobles, as we're calling them. The client this client in particular, he's one of my regulars. He has a Dark Elf army. So he requested some Dark Elf on horseback. He doesn't use cold ones. He uses horses, Dark Riders. So he wanted something that stood out a little bit. So these are going to be some nobles. These are Dark Elf Shades, I think is what they're called. And I sawed through them and mounted them on these old Confrontation minis. I think they're Confrontation. Anyway, the horses are very dynamic. They look really nice. I think once they're plated up and you paint those eyes like a red or something, they're going to look very diabolical. And then we're going to make some modifications to it. For example, he wanted a witch or a sorceress on one of these. So this figure, which comes like that, she'll have some sort of staff or weapon or something like that. So they're going to be modified, and they'll be coming up soon. I have one client who's interested in the Dominatrix right now, which is a large build that I do. But the Dominatrix, he wanted some plating, so he requested to make the head sort of look more like a zoanthrope. So this is kind of what we came up with so far. This is just the basic head. We're going to work on it a little bit more, but here's the basic plating. And although it looks heavy right now, you can see that it's really smoothed out quite well. The sculptor in this case, Nick, really did a good job with it. And you know, here's the zoanthrope we based it on. So here's the head plates for that. You can see they're ridged like that. And then there's the head plates for this. And I think when it's all said and done, they'll match pretty well. I think they'll be pleased. We've got about 12 of these Tervigons coming up on the block probably in the next 2 weeks or so. Now my sculptor is back in house, so we're going to be working on those. This is a new Harpy variation I worked on. I ran out of the wings that I was using for the last year and a half. Finally, I had bought 50 to 60 sets, and I finally sold out. So this Harpy is mostly a GW kit. He has Balrog wings, which I think look pretty nice on the model. They look like Tyranid wings would. And then the tail is a Kenner Alien tail with a Carnifex tip. And then the cannons are 2 Venom cannons. So I think this one actually looks alright. I used some smaller talons because I thought the larger talons weren't working. So these are Trigon talons. These are some of the smaller ones, like the middle talons. Or the biggest talons on the Moloch, the smallest talons on the Trigon. And so he's going to be going up on eBay, and I can recreate him very easily. I ordered some extra wings, so that's not hard to do. These are spore pods. You can actually see the comparison between the two here because I've got the older base, the wooden base that I was using, and I've started to use these newer Rackham Confrontation bases. These are 130 millimeter round bases. They're perfectly sized for these. They work really well for defilers too. You can find them on eBay for a few bucks a piece. And so these are actually all sold. They're going out to a client. This is the Soul Drinker project, all finished up. As I told you originally, I was going to add some bits and bling them up a little bit. Here you see Talion, he's got his backpack added. He's standing on a mountain of corpses, and he's had a few little bits added here and there. The client requested his mutated version have more fan-like blades, so she requested that I clip the tips and sand them down a little and redo the bandages. She wanted thinner bandages. So all that's been done, so he looks pretty sharp, I think. I also gave him that pistol. And then the Sarpedon, or Sarpedron, I'm sorry for all you Soul Drinkers fanatics that I'm mispronouncing this. He wanted what do you call it, a Psychic Hood. So I used a online tutorial from the Warp. If you've never been to that site, it's wonderful. Anyway, there was a tutorial on there about how to do hoods using a shoulder pad, so I did that. And then these hoses, or these cords, are from a company called Dragon Forge that does pewter hosing, which is wonderful. If you've never used them, I highly recommend them. They're very cheap and very convenient. And I blinged them up a little bit. I gave him a pistol. I gave him some purity seals. I gave him a scroll over here. And he's mounted on a 60 millimeter base, so he's like Dreadnought size. And I think he came out really well. So those models are ready to go out. So that's about it for right now. I'm going to have some company down this weekend, so I'm not going to be able to work a ton, but I'm going to be working today on some projects. So again, if you ever have any questions or you want to contact me about a commission, you can contact me at caleb@whitemetalgames.com. I certainly am always interested in talking to a new client. If any of my old clients are out there and they want to approach me about a new project, just email me. I'm always happy to hear back from you. For all my clients that have contacted me, I am working in a workshop today, so I'll be responding to emails. And I'll be working on all your projects, including painting, including building. I'm hoping to get a lot of this stuff done today, so we're going to see how we do. And I will talk to you guys later. So have a good weekend. Happy working.